Good evening, and thanks y'all for joining us for our all hands meeting here in August. Gosh, summer's almost or just about over, vacation at least. Thank y'all for being here.
We'll give it a couple more minutes for people to continue to join. But I'm with Ben. Where did this summer go? My goodness. Also, if you feel like it, go ahead and drop where you're joining us from in the chat, I guess I should say. Although I assume at this point everybody sort of knows what that is. We'll give it just a couple more minutes.
I see some of our partner candidates in the participant list. Thank you, Dr. Brandyberg and Matthias Early for joining us today.
And I
Very
think,
much
did
appreciate
I
y'all being here.
see? I know. I'm so glad y'all are here too. And did I see Diana in there? Maybe. Maybe not. Hey, Amanda, also from Austin. Lawrence and Marcia from Austin. Addison, Lawrence, I'm embarrassed to admit I'm not sure where that is. You'll have to tell us. Okay, y'all, in the interest of being respectful of everybody's time on this Wednesday evening, I'm going to go ahead and 7 miles west of Katy. Okay, now we all know Lawrence. Thank you so much. That is really helpful. All of these, I actually live in a tiny town called Manchac, which isn't even its own town. It's an unincorporated area outside, but I always say Austin because nobody knows where Manchac is. So I'm with you on that. Anyway, I'm Lana Hanson, the Executive Director of Texas Blue Action. I'm joined by a couple of team members for Texas Blue Action tonight. Ben Wilbanks, who's joining us from El Paso, who is our managing director. He is also the lead trainer of our program. And Julie Gilbert, who is our political director and also the master of all things comms for us. So we, as Ben said at the beginning of this, really appreciate y'all being here. I'm going to be short and sweet this today and just say that if you're new with Blue Action, please make sure you sign up for one of our beginner trainings so that you can learn all the ways that we do things. If you've been with us for a while, Ben is going to walk you through, ways to remain active right now as, it's go time for us. And one of the things that I wanted to make sure I mentioned, because I feel it's so important as we are 90 plus days out from this election, is that there's so many opportunities to take action and get involved. And all of them are so incredibly valuable in this election cycle that is arguably one of the most important of all of our lifetimes. And I know we're all here because we know how important it is. Our program is designed and has been proven effective of getting to those voters that aren't otherwise going to turn out. The folks that aren't paying attention on social media, the folks that are working so many jobs that they don't have time to pay attention or the energy or bandwidth, the folks that are feeling a lot of distrust for both candidates and the party, and the folks that are not showing up at rallies or being approached at campuses for voter registration or things, that are already fired up and excited to get involved. Our program is designed and effective at getting to those people that are really relying on a trusted messenger to say, hey, this is really important. We need you to show up. The Democrats that are choosing between their couch and the ballot box. But if somebody that they know or they've connected with says to them, hey, I know this matters to you, go with me, or can we make a plan? That's what we do at Blue Action through our relational program and have been doing for now going on 6 years as the largest volunteer relational network in Texas. So we have had actually in the country, but that's just because everything's bigger in Texas. But we've had a lot of time to do testing of our methods, to track the data, and know that this is effective. And so I say this to y'all because I want to encourage you to ask your friends to join and to make sure that you're folding this in to your daily or weekly action plans. Because getting to those other folks that are fired up and making sure that they have the information that they need to cast their ballot is very important. But there are a lot of people doing that. There unfortunately are not enough people that are engaged in making sure the folks that are otherwise left out of the process and not relying on social media or digital ads or television or rallies to get to them turn out and vote. Because as Ben will show you, those are the numbers and those are the folks that are really going to be the ones that help us win. They exist. The data shows that we have those Democrats here in Texas. We just need the right people to be talking to them, and y'all are the right people. So thank you again for being here tonight. Invite your friends to join, and with that, I'm going to pass it off to Ben, and he'll talk you through the rest. Thank you so much, y'all.
Right on. Thanks y'all again for being here on August 12th. Gosh, so close to the first day of early vote and closer each day. As we talk about in beginner training every week, or actually 3 times a week, so please join and send your friends like Lana mentioned. We talk about who the best messenger is to reach the voters that we know. And it's each one of you talking to your friends and family. And that's important because we need to be more efficient in reaching voters. We cannot waste a single moment of volunteers' time. Here's why that's so important. Looking at the last midterm election, that's when Beto was running against Greg Abbott for governor. Here's a look at all the registered voters and whether or not they participated. Of course, here we have Greg Abbott in red, Beto in blue, all of our third-party candidates in yellow. But that green section of the pie is all those registered voters who didn't turn out to vote. There are a lot of reasons that people don't vote. Maybe they don't think it's important. Maybe they don't have time because of work, family, or health, limitations. But when we connect with them around the issues, that's how we're going to get those folks out to vote. As I have here, the difference between Abbott and Beto last election was 883,000 voters. So this year we need to try to turn out about 1 million more like-minded voters. So some of these people probably or may call themselves Democrats. Some may be independents, but they agree with us on the issues that we need to focus on: public education and healthcare to make folks' lives easier. And it's each one of us having those conversations around the issues that's going to make a difference in this election. At Blue Action, we try to set you up for success. So these are a few action cards that we have active right now in the Texas Blue Action Network. That first action card, inviting strong Dems to join the network. We've already identified, strong Democratic voters who turn out in most elections. These are the people who should be our most passionate volunteers. So this should be a smaller section of your network. So it's really easy to send them all a text. That second message or that second action card encourages you to invite those, maybe some people who are very engaged, some maybe who aren't, but to get together in person to make sure, to build a little community. Volunteering in the Blue Action Network doesn't have to be a solitary activity. You should, get together with your friends and make it fun. And finally, survey your network. It's important that we're identifying those people who are going to definitely agree with us. Maybe some of those more independent-minded voters who vote for the candidate. I know we've heard that a lot, voting for the candidate instead of the party. And then those people who never will ever support Democratic candidates. We shouldn't waste a moment of volunteer time trying to convince someone who will never support our candidates, and instead focus on those. Let me go back again. just because it's so stark. You know, that 54% of voters who didn't participate in the last election, and make sure they turn out to vote. Now, we are going to, these are the action cards that are active right now. We are going to have some new ones coming soon. Of course, a big issue right now, causing a lot of concern throughout not only Texas but beyond, is what's happening in the Big Bend. So I'm talking to one of the organizers there in Presidio County to be sure that we're giving you the best action items that are going to be effective in trying to hopefully stop what is happening there. We're also going to start rolling out issue-based script guidance so that, you know, if there is that person in your network that education is a prime issue for them, we have that script ready for you to send out to that person. And then we've identified, you know, about 6 to 8 other issues where we'll be rolling out action cards as we get closer to the election. The objective here, as you can see on screen, is to engage on substance and then empower our networks and identify those, help identify those supporters that we already know. So with that, one of the things that you can do is host your own house party. So here I have a form that you can fill out on Mobilize. We need to know a little bit about you before we get started. We want to be sure that you are comfortable walking people through how to use the Reach app, but you also know the efficacy of relational organizing and why Blue Action believes in that. So sign up and we'll be sure to get you trained. As I mentioned, we have trainings every Tuesday and Thursday at 6 p.m. Central Time, and then on Sundays at 3 p.m. Central Time as well. So there are plenty of opportunities to get involved and get trained up outside of those events, and I'll bring those up here in a moment as well. We have our friend banks on Mondays and Wednesdays, office hours on Tuesdays, and then on Thursdays, we walk you through how to contact your network using the Blue Action Network. So again, one of our goals in the network isn't just to add as many people as you can. That's an important first step, but what's really important is that you're actually using the tool to contact people. Because again, think about those 54%, which of course some of them are going to be Republicans, but many are not. So for us to reach them, we need to contact them. And again, use volunteer times wisely so that we're you know, being efficient and contacting as many people as possible. Another way you can use the Blue Action Network is by hotspotting. What does that mean? Essentially, that just means that you're going to a public event where there's going to be a lot of people there, and you're just having conversations with people. And as you meet voters, get their permission to add them to your network. And with the Blue Action Network, we're actually connected to the Texas VAN database. So all that data, of course, comes from the Secretary of State. So when you search for a voter in the Blue Action Network, you are searching the VAN database as well. So a few useful ways to use this tool is by confirming voting status. If someone's registered active, inactive, or in suspense, find out which, or help folks with which districts they're in, and find out their voting history. But most importantly, build that relationship with that voter, right? A lot of times our volunteer activities involve contacting a stranger, which sometimes you only talk to that person once. Blue Action, we're trying to change that to have multiple conversations between the same volunteer and that voter so that that relationship can begin and see and shepherd that voter through the whole voting process. The way you use Reach to do that is, of course, beginning with starting a conversation. When you open the Blue Action Network, there on the navigation bar at the bottom, you click the search button, type in that voter's name and location. If they can provide their zip code, that's ideal, but a city should be sufficient. Open up their profile in the Blue Action Network, and then actually add them to your network as a voter iCanvass. As you may know, There are many relationship definitions that you can choose from. I would recommend Voter iCanvass unless you wanted to use another one. That is up to you. And then make sure you have their phone number. In the contact info section of the profile, you can add a phone number. We do ask you not to share their information with us. You are going to be the best messenger to reach that voter again. And then, of course, that's where the work begins, right? You need to follow up with that voter throughout the coming weeks to make sure they're ready to vote on October 19th. That's going to be the first day of early vote. We don't want people to wait until election day. That is too late. So as I mentioned, we do have many upcoming events. Some are weekly, some only happen once or monthly. So our weekly events, as I mentioned, first of all, beginner training. This is where we want everyone to start. This is important because this is where we learn the basics of relational organizing and how Blue Action uses the Reach app. As you can see, one of our special events is What's Reach and who's using it. There are campaigns across Texas and the US using Reach in different ways. So we want people to come to beginner training to kind of learn the basics. Very importantly, we want folks to use the tool. Of course, you can do this in your own time, but if you'd like to join a friend bank, that's where we set 30 minutes aside on Mondays and Wednesdays. That's Mondays at 6 p.m. Central Time, Wednesdays at noon for a lunchtime session where you can just take that time to continue to grow your network and, of course, contact people in your network. And then on Thursdays, we have we show you for those beginners how to contact people in your network if you're not sure how to do that. Our special events, as I quickly mentioned, are What's Reach and who's using it. Again, just to talk about the tool, we've been using it for 4 years, so we're very familiar. A lot of people are using it for the first time and maybe hearing about it for the first time. So we just wanted to have that baseline discussion. And then, of course, next month's all hands meeting as well, that's where we're really going to be gearing up because September, early vote is just going to be a few weeks away. So it's going to be very important that we're all active and engaged. You can find all of our events at texasblueaction.com/events or on Mobilize as well. So with that, are there any questions? I also saw someone special joining the Zoom, Senator Sarah Eckhart. Thank you for joining us tonight. And thank you for running. I think every time I hear you speak or see one of your videos on social, it just, I don't hesitate to share. So thank you for being here. And if you would like to speak for a few minutes, I'd be happy to have you speak to the group.
Yes, the senator must speak. Miss Eckhart, hello. It's good to see your face. You've been out all around the state, so I'm excited to see you. Please tell us what's up, how you're doing.
So things are going pretty well. I'm actually sitting here drinking a smoothie that Nathan Johnson just gave to me because our campaign offices share a wall. And he came and he said, "Do you need a smoothie?" I was like, "Yes, I need a smoothie."
Oh, friends that campaign together drink smoothies together to keep the energy up, right?
That's right. And I've got it in this nifty join the blue team, vote Democrat. So I don't know if you can see this. It's
Love
a cup
it.
that actually turns blue. It's from the Howard County Democrats from when I was out in Abilene. So we've been all across the state of Texas, and I'm very, very happy to report that this clean slate that we have, we've got Gina and James at the top, but we also have me and Nathan and Vicky and Ben and John and Clayton. We're all within single digits, and it's because of great people out there working so hard, getting on the app, contacting their friends, because people really, they trust you and your opinion way more than they trust any kind of AstroTurf. And they trust each other. They trust their neighbors more than they trust politicians. So
this is true. What are you hearing out on the road? I mean, that is such a good point. That's why we do what we do, to try to fill that gap and that lane of, we have so many incredible people that are committed to doing sort of that stranger outreach and making sure that, other people are contacted. But we're in a really powerful moment where people have lost a lot of trust, over the last few years in politics and candidates and parties and all of the things. And they're really needing to be reminded by people that they trust and know about the importance of this, and particularly the importance of this election. So thank you for running. Are you hearing good things out on the road?
I'm absolutely hearing good things. I mean, I was calling people yesterday, cold calling people, talking to them about the race. And one person said, yeah, I've heard of you, I've heard of your race, but frankly, I'm tapped out to James and Gina. And then about 3 hours later, I got a text message from him saying, oh my God, one of my best friends has just been fired from the comptroller's office with no warning. I am going on your link right now and contributing. This is outrageous.
Yes. Yes.
So
No,
that's
this
the kind of stuff that's happening.
Absolutely. That's such a good thing to hear, and a really good reminder, I think, for everybody on this call and for all the people that you are talking about, is that there are races like the senators that are on the top of the ticket that are arguably more valuable in some respects than some of the others, right? Like every single one is important. But when we're talking about how our budget is going to be spent and how that money is controlled, this office is a space that people don't know about. They don't understand. They don't hear about it. And this is an opportunity for us to be those educators in this space and say, look, this position is so important. And one of the beautiful things about the senator's race and Senator Nathan Johnson's race and some others on the ticket is that they're not running against incumbents. I guess Huff Hines is technically an incumbent now because he was appointed. But for the most part, it's sort of a clean slate there, and a real opportunity if we do our jobs through our networks to say, hey, I know you're all thinking about James and Gina up here and that's where the money's being spent, but there's real power right here that we can grab, and we need to go for it. So make sure you're telling all of your people to contribute to these campaigns, to make sure that the voters know they need to show up and vote for Sarah on the ballot, because these are just seats that people don't understand, right? The importance and how valuable that they are. And these are arguably the seats where we win when people don't even see it coming. And that's our power, right?
Julie just put in the chat, comptroller controls all the funding. You're absolutely right, Julie, of course. You're
Yes.
always right. It's good to see you, Carolyn. Yeah, I mean, this is one of those races where when the state was controlled by Democrats, the first office to go to Republicans was the comptroller's office. So when people stop trusting a one-party rule, the first place where they, the soft spot, the place to change things is actually in who controls the money. And this office controls the money. And then also, like I was just talking with Nathan, I was saying, listen, if there's a no bid contract for Elon Musk to get $100 million in grants from the state of Texas going to the comptroller's office, I want to be able to turn to my attorney general and say, I need you to back me up that there's no rationale for this to be a no bid contract. There's no emergency here. And I need an attorney general's opinion to back me up that a no bid contract is inappropriate in this circumstance. So we need to follow the law and follow the money. And Nathan and I will be a dynamic duo in that regard.
I love that. And that is so important to have both of you running together. Plus, you've been a successful duo in our state Senate. So you both know what this battle is up against the Republicans that have been controlling things for 30 years. So I can't think of two better candidates to be running and have this opportunity to take this over, and couldn't have more trust for the two of you to do exactly what's right and what we need. And as an individual here, yes, I want my dollars to be spent better, right? And so this is the opportunity to not only seek that power, to make that happen. I couldn't be more grateful for you hopping in tonight. That was a very pleasant surprise to see you, and hope we can grab a cup of coffee here soon. Anything else you want to share with the group here tonight?
A lot of people, I do feel some people out on the campaign trailer saying, oh gosh, they just have so much money. And that's true. They do have so much money,
Yep.
but their MAGA millions are no match for our grassroots. And grassroots looks different now. This is what grassroots looks like.
That's exactly right. And one of the things that maybe y'all haven't been tracking, but we certainly do here, is that this year Greg Abbott had an app built to be able to relationally organize in the way that Blue Action has been for the past 4 years, because he saw how important this was going to be and this type of movement to get to their people moving forward was going to be. So they have taken that money and tried to invest it in the work that replicates what Blue Action has been doing in this state. So if that tells you anything, it should be that getting involved in this program and doing this type of work is extremely important and powerful, or they wouldn't be investing their war chest and making things like that happen. The other thing I want to mention here is that we've seen this over and over in the Mondami campaign, in Wendy Davis and Chip Roy in 2020. We can name countless races where the Republicans and the Democrats have outspent each other, but it is the person that runs the strongest ground game that wins every time. And we are particularly in that moment right now where people, again, are not listening to the money. I mean, they're not at home glued to their television looking at all of the ads. They're not necessarily, I mean, we've seen more people leave social media in the past 18 months than we have in history. People are really wanting that connection with their neighbor, their friends, and their leaders. And we have that opportunity to bring that to them and get people like the senator elected to be our new comptroller.
Yay!
Get out there and talk to your people. I also want to join to hop on here is that Representative Lulu Flores hopped on this call as another pleasant surprise. Y'all are just full of surprises tonight. Would love to have the representative say a few words too. What's going on, Lulu?
Well, hi everyone. Sorry I'm late. I've had quite the day. I had a people's hearing this morning, 3.5 hours with the Progressive Caucus and the Latino Coalition for Excellence in Higher Education. And we had lots and lots of testimony. We took people's testimony, professors, students. Can y'all hear me? I hope, because I don't know. I don't know if I'm on camera. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm on my phone.
We hear you.
But I'm getting ready to go on a National Women's Political Caucus PAC call because I still serve on that PAC forever. So anyway, we're just trying to get, more women elected to office around the country. So we are endorsing and trying to scrape up whatever money we can to help candidates around the country. But here in Texas, we want to get people like Sarah, Nathan, and Gina, and James elected. I was just at James's event last night. I popped in. I just felt like, anytime he's in, I have to, pitch in a little more. I hosted an event with Cheryl Cole for him, but, he's just doing fantastic. I was at the Trial Lawyers of America, meeting in Chicago 2 weeks ago with my husband, who is a trial lawyer. And James was there, and he was awesome. And he just charmed the pants off of everyone and did a great job and really just gave a solid performance. And everybody was just enthralled. So that's really exciting. He is really doing a great job. And of course, Gina is too. I missed my Latinas for Gina last night because I was running around getting ready for this hearing. But no, and I'll be doing a Get Out the Vote early vote rally on October the 24th on the east side at 819 Springdale, I think is the address. It's out there. I'm just going to do a community event for me, and I'm going to invite my candidates from the east side and southeast Austin to come out. Just bring the families, bring the kids. It's a pre-Halloween party, but we got to get everybody excited about getting out to early vote. And, it's right smack in the middle of it. So that's what we're planning. So, starting to, get my sneakers in order. I do have a vacation plan these last 2 weeks in August, but I'll be back and I'll be hitting the road faithfully on the weekends every weekend between now and election day. So I surely can use volunteers, and I'm rusty on my reach app, but I'll try to get on one of these trainings so I can dust off my old skills and try to reach out to as many friends and contacts as I have.
Well, perfect, Representative. If you need us to send somebody over to give you a personal tutorial, you just let us know. I'm here in Austin. Always happy to help. Ben's trainings online or multiple times a week, and he's a master at all things. But you just let us know, and we'll be there to support. Thank you so much for being here tonight and giving us that update. What a pleasant surprise. It was great to see you.
Well, good to see you guys, and thank you for everything you're doing. And I'll be around, and have to jump off to my other meeting now. So take care.
All right. Good luck. Drink, get hydrated.
I will. Take care. Bye-bye.
You bet. You too. All right, Ben, I want to pass it back to you. I didn't mean to interrupt, but I got so excited about our surprise guests.
Me too.
Great.
Well,
And then also, in case anybody here has any questions that they want to ask too.
yeah, and that's kind of what I wanted to do, see if there were any questions about anything we've covered or any future trainings that we're having. But I also just want to thank y'all for joining tonight and continue to advocate for your communities. So we appreciate you.
Does anybody have any questions or anything? Otherwise, we're right at 7, a few minutes over. I'm always very proud when we stick to time also, because not easy. But definitely want to make sure we give everybody a chance to ask any questions. All right.
Hey, I'm sorry. I was just trying to figure out how to cut myself back on. Hi, everybody. My name is Lawrence Brandenburg. I'm running for Texas House District 85.
Oh, great. Welcome. Thank you for being here.
Well, thank you. Thank you for everything you guys do, Ben and Julie and the rest of the team. Hey, I was interested. Tim Broughton is my point man, Ben. I think you know that already for Blue Action. But yes. I was listening to the hotspot concept. Mm-hmm. And also, I'm having an opportunity here for the next couple of weeks to go to certain events that they're going to sponsor around the district. And is there any way, or is there anything that I'm missing that, say, if I'm with a big crowd of people and I just want to throw something out that they can get to my campaign or to Blue Action, something that I can say, when you're talking, I give you my website, and then also I want to connect with you with Blue Action. What is the best way to do that, Ben?
There are a few ways, kind of depending on what you have accessible. If you had a screen that you're presenting on, you could, of course, put up a QR code to training. We could provide that code for you. If you do not have a screen to present off, if you had postcards that you could give out, again, with a QR code, linking not only to training, but your group. And again, if you need that QR code for your chat group and action cards, I can give that to you as well. That'd probably be the two best ways. You could also send people to our website, texasblueaction.com/events. Also, do you have Mobilize for your campaign as well?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Maybe we can set you up with a link where when you set up that event, you can send people to the training that happens on Tuesday and Thursday.
Okay.
That could help as well.
Okay. Well, I wouldn't mind getting the QR code or whatever. You can just send that to Tim and me. Okay.
Absolutely.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you very much for being here. We appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you for being here, and good luck out there. Those QR codes on a postcard can be great because people can then take them home if they want and be able to share it with a friend or whatever. And it can take you right into, your chat group and thing within our network. That might be really helpful for you. So I know Ben will take good care of you in that way, but I think that might be a really easy way for you to be able to get to people, and then, also give people the action of hey, join, but then also give this card to a friend and have them join as well.
Absolutely. That actually goes for Senator Eckhart and Representative Flores too. So
yeah, I think I wanted to give that a shot. Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Cool. Yeah, thank you.
Of
Are there
course.
any other questions? And if not, we'll go ahead and close out, but we'll be back at it tomorrow night. If you know anyone who wants to get trained, 6 o'clock Central Time, they're on Zoom to train more beginners. We're there every week. So send folks our way.
Absolutely. And I want to give everybody one thing to leave with today, and that is make sure you tell all your friends about Senator Eckhart's campaign, the importance of the comptrollers, as well as Lawrence Brandenburg's. We have an opportunity to bring in more members of our legislature to help us fight back in policies in Texas. I know we all want to elect a new senator. It's massively important that in order to change the lives of Texans and our lives personally, we need to elect new people to the House. We need a new comptroller. And these are seats people aren't paying attention to, but hold massive power in what we are talking about in changing, the lives of Texans for the better. So I want everybody to leave here and talk to your friends about these two people. I would mention Representative Flores as well, but she's already safe and she's in a good seat and she's fighting for these folks too. So let's go out and make sure that we're letting people know and have an understanding about the importance and the opportunity of these seats that are represented a little bit further down the ballot, because the bottom's going to flip the top, not the other way around, y'all. I'm here to tell you we see it over and over. So please do that today. Go talk to somebody about, and if you're not in Mr. Brandenburg's district, find out who is running for the House or the state Senate in your district, because those folks together with our comptroller could make a massive difference in what we see in our lives and our policies in Texas. So I'll leave you all with that. Thank you so much for being here. We look forward to seeing you soon. Sign up for another event. And always, of course, reach out to any of us with any questions or concerns. We are here to support. We're proudly working with 31 candidates right now in our network to try to make sure that all of those down ballot people are supported as well. So anyway, thank you so much. Have a great Wednesday. We'll talk to y'all soon.